Like, Monkey Man is doing his thing and making shocking videos and harassing these girls. Meanwhile, the girls are just like, oh, Monkey Man, he did it again. And then they don't do anything.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, you've cracked this show in a nutshell. Hi, Rogue.
Hey, Zax.
Well, we're back at it again, and we're almost at the end of Tag.
Yay!
Today we're covering episodes 5 and 6. And do you remember anything that's happened so far?
I don't remember what happens in these episodes, and I don't remember what happened in the last episodes.
Well, they give us a previously on that takes bits from all the episodes and lets us know what's gonna be relevant to these episodes. So that's nice.
And you can give me a previously on tagged you.
So, last time, if you remember, Alicia was kidnapped.
Oh yes, of course.
They find out that the homeless girl in the video was named Raven. Rowan had her sister sent to rehab for Haley's drugs. JC continues to harass Haley and tries to get her to cheat with him. And this is going back a bit, but remember that Rowan lost her V-card to Jake while being watched while Alicia was kidnapped.
Oh yes. How could I forget?
Definitely, even though we've already talked about the New Mexico laws and how it is on the up and up, the show doesn't think it's on the up and up. So they've officially confirmed illegal territory because they did canoodle for real.
Alright, well.
So,
caught up.
And then, episode 4, last episode, the last thing we saw was Rowan was in a bathroom and people wrote that she needs to die in lipstick on the mirror. And that's just where we end there.
Okay.
Oh, also, this episode picks up where Haley left off. If anybody remembers, JC was like, I can't get over you. I looked at all those pictures of you and I don't do that kind of stuff. And she's like, well, if you love me so much, then why are you with my best friend Nikki? And he can't answer that. And then Nikki shows up and Haley gets very overwhelmed and she takes a couple pills. So this episode, we're continuing with that. So Haley just took some pills. She's in a math class. And I was kind of confused as to, like, what was happening in the moment. Because, like, the teacher is writing on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like the kids are taking some kind of open book test. Because they all have, like, a paper with, like, several different math problems on it that they're working on. And the teacher's not saying anything. So it seems like an open book test. But I don't know why she's writing things on the board.
Maybe she's writing additional problems that they're gonna have to solve.
Maybe. But either way, but it definitely, I get a test vibe just because it's like super silent.
Yeah.
But either way, that's not an issue. Haley just whips her phone out.
Oh.
And she gets a text from an unknown number saying, I got what you need. And she's really intoxicated at the moment because, like, we keep seeing such distorted stuff, which almost makes me wonder, like, maybe it is a class going on, but, like, she can't hear it in her state. But I feel like this show wouldn't be above using, like, a warbled speech effect on everybody. So, you know, I'm just gonna continue to suffer with not really understanding that.
I do want to point out, and I think I pointed this out when we watched it together forever ago and I blocked out all the memories. They use their phones a lot in school.
Yeah.
Did I talk about this last episode? I feel like I did.
Yeah, I think it comes up every episode because Tagged is definitely written by adults who want to get the message across that teens are too addicted to their phones.
Which is kind of ridiculous too, because is that what we're supposed to take away from this? Because if they weren't on their phones, they would still be getting terrorized because they keep getting notifications. So of course you're going to check notifications. That's not like I'm glued to my phone and I just happen to come across these things.
Yeah, it's a really weird message
Right.
because, yeah, like you said, they're getting harassed all the time. And that's,
And if they just put their phone down, they would still be getting harassed. Especially with, like, kidnapping and suicide videos. Was that a thing in this? I don't remember. I think I'm mixing.
They do have videos of them, yeah.
But the phone thing, I mean, cell phones weren't, like, a huge thing when I was in high school. Like, I had a flip phone throughout all of high school, so I guess that kind of gives a timeline of what era cell phones were at and how many people had them. And we were allowed to have them in school, but obviously not in class. And I think by the time I left high school, a couple years after being out, I had cousins and my little brother and stuff, and yeah, they were like, yeah, we're not even allowed to have them at school. Like, if a teacher sees us with them at school, we get them taken away and we can pick them up at the end of school.
Yeah, that was definitely the case, but, like, it kind of, some teachers, like, just sort of let it slide but for sure, I think across the board, your phone just couldn't be a distraction in class.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was, so I don't know. It's also just weird because Haley, you know, she's barely looking at things. She's just whipping her phone out, looking at it. She's not it's not even like hiding it under your desk.
Or like by the chair.
Yeah, that's what like most of us did in school. Like if you really had to like wanted to look at your phone or whatever. But, you know, she's really brazen. But she gets this message from an unknown number. It says, I got what you need. She barely finishes that and she takes 2 more pills.
Oh my goodness.
And she already is having trouble seeing.
I understand that her thing is like, drugs are, don't do prescription drugs if they're not prescribed to you. And that's her whole thing. But I think they're overdoing it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like how they handle Alicia with just like tragedy bingo. With her, it's like anytime something goes wrong, she pops another pill. But like, you know, the whole show kind of takes place over the course of, I want to say, a week, the first week of school. And every other scene, she's using pills. Which is like, you know, no, it's not even unrealistic. Like, it's not even about, like, the amount. But, like, she's currently high.
Right.
She doesn't need any more right now. It's not like, you know, if it's like, you know, you need to take more because, like, you built up a tolerance kind of thing. That makes sense. But, like, she currently can't see straight. But, I mean, I guess then there is something like you forget that you took it, but it doesn't seem like you would forget that you... I don't know. I'm no expert.
I guess
but
it
just
depends
seems
on what it is, because that's... I mean, I think you're referencing Dr. Drew thing on Midnight Gospel, where when you mix sleeping pills and alcohol, you end up forgetting that you took the pills already, but that's because you're feeling so relaxed, so you're like super mellow, you're super relaxed, and then you forget that you already took the pill, and then you end up accidentally overdosing. But it sounds like she's not taking something that, I don't know, maybe it's relaxing her, but it's also messing with her vision, so I don't think you would forget that you took the pills.
Yeah, that's true, too. I guess, because I'm also, like, using some, like, not, like, I guess personal experience, but, like, you know, my friends, like, who have, like, prescribed medications, and they'll, like, you know, like, either to sleep or for whatever, and they'll, like, be like, did I take... They'll just forget. But, again, they're not currently experiencing the, like, hardcore effects where they can't even see.
And usually why that happens for people who do take prescription medications, especially on like a regular basis, is because your memories start getting mixed up because you take it so often and for so many days and whatever that you're like, did I take it today or was that yesterday?
Yeah. Because, like,
but it's not...
yeah.
Yeah, it's not like... I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is she's not mixing it with anything. So if her vision is messed up, it's not because she couldn't possibly think, oh, that's the alcohol, because she's not taking it with alcohol. She's just taking these pills.
She's so... Yeah, it's really... Well, okay, this isn't even the height of where I feel this gets really weird. Okay, so...
Yeah, we need to move
after school... So she's now has, at least, I believe she's taken 4 pills. She can't see. Somehow she gets to the grotto.
Okay.
And she thinks she's meeting Ash. And instead, who's waiting for her is Monkey Man. That's horrifying, given her state. Thoughts on what he does?
Are you asking me to
guess?
Yeah. I don't know. Really.
She's high. She wanders into the
Does he kidnap her?
Grotto. No.
Oh.
But that is a good guess. That was the guess I was hoping for. No,
Okay.
he pushes her in a ditch.
Okay. I was going to say he pushes her over. That was my first. That was my first instinct.
You gotta go with your gut.
Man.
Okay. Well, he pushes her into a ditch, and she lands next to a dead body.
Oh, no.
And it turns out to be Raven's dead body. So now, like... And then that sobers her up real quick.
Should say so.
Yeah, she's just like... She's moving quick. She's like, oh my gosh. And she sits up. And as she's sitting up, Monkey Man just stands over the ditch and he snaps a picture of her next to the dead body.
Oh, that's...
And then leaves.
Okay.
You know, that was the official business. Now police are there. They're on the scene. They're talking to kids around the grotto, and they're like asking questions. Official police business. I don't know exactly where Haley and Rowan are, but they're a bit away watching through like a window, sort of.
Okay.
And Rowan asks Haley, what were you doing here? And she says, she doesn't answer, but she says, oh, I got a text from Monkey Man, which is sort of true.
Mm-hmm.
But the real reason she was there is because she thought she was meeting Ash for more pills.
Right.
Remember, the reason that Rowan sent her sister to rehab was because Haley lied, which I will never understand. Because as we talked about, Rowan's first instinct was, oh, are these pills Nikki's? Figures. And she's like, no, they're Bree's. Knowing that Bree had a serious drug addiction in the past.
Yeah.
And then was like surprised that Rowan was concerned. But if you just said Nikki, then Rowan wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, apparently she wouldn't have cared. She was just like, yeah, I figured that. she's judgy, but she's not gonna narc on somebody who apparently can hang, I guess. I don't know. But then Ash shows up, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And then they're like, well, they found Raven's body, so now we know that the video is real. But like, this is something weird. As this goes on, because now that they've found the dead body, they keep saying things to the effect of, now we know Monkey Man isn't messing around. He kidnapped Alicia. He carved into her flesh. She's got that for life. Yeah, but now that we know that he's a killer, we know that he means business.
The way that they continue to act like episodes 3 and 4 were just big non-issues, I will never get over, and I will never accept. But anyway, whatever. So Ash is just like, whoa, anyway, here are your drugs. And Haley's like, what? No, I don't want them anymore. And then he's like, well, good for you, but you texted me, so you need to pay for them. And then Rowan looks at her, and she's like, those drugs were never Bree's. But, like, again, this is on you, Rowan, for believing her. Because your sister hacks government files and, like, regularly hangs out on the dark web. So why did she need an 11th grader connect?
Yeah.
So, that's not even the dumbest decision Rowan made tonight. So, she, as soon as she hears this, she needs to clear the air. Now, her dad is here, cop dad.
Yes.
And he's investigating a murder. And they're at the grotto, which has a reputation for being, like, where the druggy kids and the cool kids hang out. But mostly the druggy kids. Not a place anyone would want to think of their young daughter being, right?
Yes.
She just walks up to him, and his first thing is like, hey, what are you doing here? Do you know anything about this girl? Like, what's going on? And she says, no, I just saw your cruiser, and I needed to talk to you. Those pills weren't Breeze. And he's like, yeah, I know. The clinic told me she's clean. But what are you doing here? Do you hang around this place? We need to talk about this. I need you to wait in my car. And she just walks off, doesn't go to his car. She leaves with Haley.
So A+ dad here, at least he's concerned and isn't just like, I don't know, distracted by her saying we need to talk. Which, good for her saying that they needed to talk. That's a step in the right direction.
No, the dad said they need to talk.
No, I thought she said, I saw your cruiser and I needed to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, the pills weren't Breeze.
Yeah.
That's all she needed to say. Yeah. Once she got that information out, she's done.
She's done. She's out. Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, cool, we're on the same page. I'm aware Bree's out of rehab because she was clean. But what are you doing here? And then she just leaves with Haley.
It is interesting. If I remember correctly, the dad is in the show a little bit. But I feel like they make it seem like, oh, since he's a police officer, he's gone a lot. Which I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah, I mean, he works the night shift.
See, I also don't think that's super accurate. I think they rotate so that they don't get too tired or,
yeah,
you know,
I
like
mean,
they don't get worn out on the same shift because it is a difficult job, especially if you're in an area with a lot of crime.
Yeah, you know, you bring up a good point, and I'm trying to think, because, like, it is weird, because at one point he's talking to her, like, do you need me to be around more? Like, I can stop taking the night shift? But then some days it seems like he's also gone during the day, which makes it seem like they do rotate, but it also seems like maybe he needs more money, so he's possibly working overtime, but none of it really, his schedule's very unclear.
It's very erratic.
Because, yeah.
I also don't know if they let officers work overtime. That would be like a firefighter being like... Because then you start getting tired and then acting irrationally. Which, I mean, we won't go into all the politics of that.
Yeah, collar tug. But yeah, so I don't know what his schedule is. It's really up in the air because it does seem like he's kind of always around. But this is like, but I guess that is part because this show, even though there are 8 episodes, it still is only like 5 days. So maybe there's some rotation because it seems like pretty much every episode has him around.
Okay.
At least a little bit. Like either he's just getting back from work, or he's getting ready to go to work, or he's hanging out at the diner with the teacher when he really should be more concerned about his daughter. But he is concerned about his daughter. It's just really weird. It's like, I think that's just like the writers goofed on him because, like, on paper, he's very actively concerned about his daughter.
Yes.
But then he spends most of his time at the diner with some teacher. Granted, that's mostly when she's at school, but sometimes he goes his night too. I don't know.
They didn't think this. I don't think the writers, like, they weren't as thorough as we're being, for sure.
No, it kind of makes me think of Meet the Robinsons when he puts the thing on the T-Rex and he's like, I have a big head and tiny arms, and I just don't think that he really thought this thing out. So then she doesn't wait in the car like her father asked her to. She leaves with Haley and they go to check on Alicia, and the power's out. Now they literally just entered the apartment. They're like, oh my gosh, where's Alicia? I can't find her. Did he get her? And so they do this whole thing so that they can have a jump scare, but she literally just comes out of her bedroom. And he's like, they were just checking one room. Now, granted, it's a small apartment, but, like, you could venture in a little bit more. There are flashlights on your phone. But then she was like, I'm just scared because, like, I don't know if Monkey Man cut the power or what. But that's fine. They continue to talk about how Monkey Man means business.
Okay.
Even though... And we don't talk about how he already kidnapped Alicia. We're just talking about how he killed this homeless girl.
And so what is their plan? Because I guess it's not to go tell an adult or her dad. So he means business, but not enough for us to actually do something useful.
They don't.
And tell an adult.
I'm gonna be real. They don't make a real plan until episode 6.
Oh my gosh. So what are they doing? They're just like, oh man, Monkey Man, he's bad news. Let's talk about that some more.
That's literally exactly what they do. So we cut to Cop Dad for a second. He's talking to the perfect teacher, and she shows him the Instagram video of the girl being shot. So there's that. Then back at this sleepover or whatever, they have like this really pretty jar, and they put all their phones in it.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I thought it was like, so that they... First I was like, maybe it's just because we need light. Which, maybe? I don't know. But then I was thinking... I was actually rewatching these videos before we started today with my brother, and he was like, oh, maybe they just needed it so they don't look at their phones. But then the second anyone's phone pings, they just take it out of the jar. I don't know why they have this jar. It looks pretty, sort of.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's so that they know that they're not Monkey Man.
I guess. You know what? I'll go with that. That's new headcanon, because that's the only thing that makes any sense for this weird jar. They put 2 and 2 together. Remember, there's been a countdown going.
Oh, yes.
And the only thing that's coming up by the end of the countdown is Nikki's party. So they're like, okay, so something's going to go down then. Next, Haley and Rowan start arguing a little bit about, like, their secrets, because Rowan is like, Haley, you didn't tell me that you were on drugs, and you need to tell me when you're on drugs. And then Haley's like, I don't need to tell you anything because we're barely getting back to being friends. And then Alicia's like, hey, shut up. Rowan, you still haven't told me how you know my cousin Jake.
Oh, that's important.
Nobody answers.
Oh, okay.
It's Alicia talking. Who cares what she has to say? They get another text, and Monkey Man just sends a picture, and it's a bunch of guns and pom-poms.
Okay.
So they figure out, oh no, Monkey Man is possibly going to shoot guns at the spirit assembly. I don't know how to... None of the... If we ever get monetized, none of the tag videos will ever be eligible. They're just not gonna be. And then Haley's worried because she got a message from Monkey Man saying it's her turn. Also, they find a Monkey Man mask in Alicia's room. And then she's like, I don't know how that got there. And Roman's like, yeah, right. And then Haley asks, what happened to your parents? We know that they're dead. And then she gets up and she goes to sit on her bed. And basically what happened was she snuck out of the house, but she forgot to turn out her candles.
Rookie mistake.
And a fire. And so she blames herself, and then she has like this nice little moment with Haley, and she talks about just her addictive personality. First it was fires, but then she partied, and now she has her new addiction. And then that kind of goes nowhere because, like, Rowan never says, like, I believe you about the Monkey Man mask, but she also doesn't leave. So the next shot, they're just, like, lying down, and it's, like, above them, and we, like, look at their heads, and they're just talking about possible people who could it be. But anytime anyone brings up anything, whoever they're close to defends them. So, like, they bring up Jake being Monkey Man, and Rowan and Alicia are like, no, it could never be. They bring up JC, and then Haley is like, no, it could never be him. And then, like, they're like, maybe Brandon, and then they're like, no, it couldn't be. Like, literally everyone. It just couldn't be them.
No one is
these are all
Monkey
the
Man.
leads we have. So then Rowan gets up, and she's like, I gotta go home like, are you still coming over, Haley? So we can, like, talk about this whole, like, you being the drug addict. She's like, look, I really can't with your dad right now, so, like, you're just gonna need to face him on your own.
Oh.
Just like, okay. Great, Haley. So she instead leaves to go see JC. And then they do another weird jump scare because, like, JC's just in his bed and, like, he hears, like, a little creeping and crawling. And then he gets up and he goes to the window and then Haley just pops out quickly. And I'm like, that was the cheapest jump scare. We already knew that Haley said, I'm not going home to my mom. I told her I'm sleeping over at Rowan's house. And if she leaves Alicia's house, the only place left for her to go is either Nikki or JC's house. So when we see JC there, we know Monkey Man isn't after him. So why would we be scared?
Because you don't know
Anyway.
what's going to happen. Maybe there's a... They canoodle.
All right. Then Rowan goes to the convenience store, but she sees Jake is talking to Bree, and they're laughing. But then she doesn't have time to process that because she's just really shocked because Monkey Man sends footage of her canoodling with Jake. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like tearing up at this. And I'm like, you just got off the phone with Haley, who was like, hey, there's video of you making out with Jake right at the convenience store, and there's also footage of you walking home. Watch your back. Monkey Man's watching you. And then she continued to canoodle. So why are you surprised now?
Because it's like the classic young person attitude. Yeah, but that won't happen to me.
I guess.
She's like, yeah, Monkey Man's following me. This couldn't possibly get any worse.
I guess. So now we're into episode 6.
And something finally happens?
Well, okay. I mean, as much as can happen in tech.
Oh.
But I'll let you be the judge. I mean, so far, episode 5, of all the episodes we talked about, how much do you feel happened?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I feel like things happen, but the main characters don't do anything. So, like, Monkey Man is doing his thing and making shocking videos and harassing these girls. Meanwhile, the girls are just like, oh, Monkey Man. He did it again. And then they don't do anything.
Yeah, no, you've cracked this show in a nutshell. Well, okay, we'll keep going anyway.
All right.
So, episode 6, Alicia and Ash talk on, like, railroad tracks or something. I don't really know where they are. And he says, like, I'm not going anywhere. Remember how I told you 5 episodes ago that I saw you watching me? That's because I'm always watching you. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Which, where does that sound like it's going?
I don't know.
Well, he's like, the way he said it was really intense and passionate, and I was like, I take it at face value, but it sounds like they're trying to hint that he's Monkey Man.
Oh. I did not make that connection.
Well, just because he's like, I'm always watching you.
Yeah, that definitely sounded... I mean, even the way you said it doesn't sound great.
Well, I guess I didn't really know what they wanted us to get from that. I guess it's just supposed to be maybe an endearing scene, because they just cuddle and then we leave. I guess they just wanted Alicia to have something to do, I suppose. I don't know. But then Cop Dad goes home and he sees Rowan's asleep, and he covers her with a blanket, and he just like, I guess it was kind of cute because he's like coming in hot, but then he sees her sleeping and he's just like, you're so problematic, but I just love you so much. So he covers her with a blanket. He takes a picture of her sleeping, which is like, she's a little old, but okay. And then, honestly though, she always looks so mad. This is the most peaceful he's probably seen her in a long time. He should savor that. And then he takes her phone out of her hand and he puts it on her nightstand. And it's like a nice little scene, I guess. But now it's Spirit Assembly Day. And everybody's filing in. Rowan and Haley are talking in front before they go inside. And Haley is like, oh my gosh, I could noodle with JC. It was amazing. It was the best thing ever. And Rowan is just like, are you sure? Like, you should be doing that because, like, Monkey Man's around and, like, look what happened to me and blah, blah, blah. And then Haley's like, look, I'm done being scared of Monkey Man. I'm tired of it, and JC's great, and, like, whatever. I'm just trying to talk to my best friend about a really great night that I had, and I just wish that you'd be supportive. And then Rowan just says, isn't he a little douchey for you? And then Haley's like, you know what? I didn't leave just to be popular with Nikki. I left because you're always so judgmental and I can't tell you anything. And so she just leaves. And then Rowan is just like, I can't believe she said that. And so, which, like, okay. Rowan is very judgmental. At the same time, she's also kind of right about most things. So it's like, is she supposed to change? Because, like, she's usually right. Except in not going to the authorities. That's when she should change. But, like,
I don't know. I mean, I guess this is all, like, high school drama, friend drama. But... My whole thing, I mean, I feel like it's still part of Rule 0. It's like Rule 0.5. Like, just talk it out.
Yeah.
If your friend is like, hey, the guy that you're dating seems a little too douchey for you, maybe you should be like, well, I really like him. Why do you think that? Or, like, maybe be mad in the moment, but come back later and be like, hey, I didn't appreciate you raining on my parade. But I don't know, I guess teens don't work that way.
I mean, yeah, it is weird because, like, I mean, saying whatever your opinion on JC is, one, it's already pretty clear, so it's not really relevant to this, but because she kind of shot herself in the foot because she had a legitimate point, like, Monkey Man has footage of me canoodling with Jake. Are you sure this is the right time for you to do the same?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That is something to be cautious of in the moment. So I don't know why she didn't just say, like, look, like, I get it. I'm sorry. I know I can be kind of, I'm not the best at this whatever sort of thing. Like, I know you want to, like, gush right now. That's not really my thing. But you're happy. I'm glad you're happy. I just don't want you to be in danger because we do have a very scary predator following us every day of our lives. But that doesn't happen. So she storms into the assembly. Rowan is walking up and she looks really mad. But then Eric goes up to her And he's like, hey, why aren't you wearing your school colors, silly head? And then she's like, oh, yeah, I guess I forgot. He asks her. He's like, no, it's not, like, really a big deal. I was just like, I like talking to you. But anyway, the party. Are you going? We could go together, as friends. Because, like, I get it. You don't want to be more than friends with me. And she just says, can't. I gotta go. And so then she goes inside. I don't know why these girls are so quick to flee all the time.
Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try and connect it back to Monkey Man, but I couldn't even make that make sense.
I mean, especially because she made a whole big deal to Eric, because she was like, I'm seeing someone right now. And he's like, no, that's fine. Can we just be friends? And she's like, yeah, I would love that. But then, like, every time he tries to talk to her, she just, like, leaves.
I gotta go.
I just love that. Like, are you going to the party? Because it's like, if it's like, I can't, like, the person I'm seeing wouldn't like me going to the party with you. That's a reason. Yeah. But, like, I'll see you there. Or, I'm not going to the party because me and Nikki don't really get along. There are so many things that could have been said. Or, like, I already made plans to go with my girls or whatever. But, like, I'll see you there. But no, just, I can't. I gotta go. And she runs away. Now, Alicia is walking into the assembly. We check on all our girls. And the perfect teacher goes up to Alicia. And she says, oh, I'm glad you're back. And then Alicia's like, yeah, the flu's awful. And she's like, right. So I saw your, troublesome Instagram accounts. And I'd like to talk about them with you. And then Alicia's like, yeah, sorry. I'm going to be late for this assembly. So I got a jet. And she runs away. And the perfect teacher sees the party flyers on the floor. She picks one up. So now we're in the assembly hall. And I want to be very clear to you and to the viewers that that's not just me recapping these conversations. That is literally that is what happened. They were all two sentences. That, like, think about how long it takes to film. Like, these are all in different locations in the same building. So, like, they had to set up, like, cameras and, like, staging and, like, mics for 2 sentences each. I just want, like, that to be clear. So, just throwing that out there. Nikki and JC, they're in the assembly hall and they're arguing. And she's like, you've been so distant. You don't text me. You don't talk to me anymore. Like, what's going on? And he just doesn't have an answer. He just, like, sort of sits there, like, looking at her, saying words at him. So then she leaves to go sit with Haley. Rowan gets a text message and it says, who am I? Time's running out. So she goes to try to pull a fire alarm, but there's, like, a cop or a security guard or something standing in the way of that. Then they're sitting down and Haley's like, Nikki, are you sure you want to throw a party? It's, like, so much work. And Nikki's like, yeah, it's been really hard because, like, you haven't been helping plan it, and this was kind of, like, going to be our thing together. But, like, you've been kind of AWOL. And Haley's just like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And then Nikki's like, if you want, you can invite Rowan. Like, I get that you miss hanging out with her. So Nikki's just like, I don't know what's going on, but maybe Haley thinks, like, she can't be friends with me and Rowan. So I'm going to just assure her that, like, I'm fine with you having more than just me as a friend.
In fact, I would encourage it.
Yeah. So, but, like, Haley doesn't say anything. Instead, she just opens her phone because she gets a text that says, these violent delights have violent ends. And it's a picture of her next to the dead body.
Okay.
And, like, Nikki is just sitting there, like, waiting for a response as Haley just opens her phone and looks through it. And then the assembly starts, so then Nikki just sits down like, okay, I guess we're watching this now. So the lights go off, and a video plays in, like, a, what is it? Distorted voice? I don't know, like the disguised voice, I guess.
Distorted.
Like scream.
Like a voice changer?
Yeah, something like that kind of plays. And it's like, are your parents strict? Do you wish you had more freedom? Here's your solution. And then it's just all this footage of Haley drugging her mom. And everyone's looking.
I remember that.
And everybody is like looking at her, looking around, and like kind of like laughing. One thing that's also just kind of weird about this footage, it was like very clearly taken like 3 feet away from her, like from inside the house. So I don't know how Monkey Man was that sneaky. Some of the shots look like it could have been outside a window, but for most of them, it seems like you're like right there in the room with her. And like, I get it that you probably got some pretty fancy stuff since you're like able to pull all this off, but like, would you really have like this good a camera? I don't know. So she looks horrified. Nobody really has any sort of reaction. And then Nikki just sort of looks at Haley like, what's happening here? Like, what is this? And so then they just leave the assembly. Fast forward, I guess a couple hours passed, and Rowan and Alicia go to visit Haley. And we find out she was taken to the police station. Her mom was there. Haley just said it was a dumb joke that she made while her mom was sleeping, and her mom believed her.
How dumb to believe that. That's not even a good excuse. Even if it were a joke. That's...
Like, what were those prop pills?
Also,
we don't have
like,
any multivitamins.
Sugar pills, I guess. But...
I don't even know...
She should at least get scolded for, like, well, don't make jokes like that. That's terrible.
Also, like, wouldn't you put two and two together? Like, I don't know, because, you know, no one's ever secretly drugged me so they could sneak out of the house. But, like, she drugs her, so she knocks her out. And then, like, they sort of follow up with, like, how'd you sleep? And she said, like a rock. And that was just kind of it. So somehow she's not really experiencing any other effects.
Well, are they sleeping pills? What are these? I wish they explained that more.
Yeah, we don't even know what she's taking because at one point, she wanted Xanax, but Ash was out of Xanax, so all she gets from him is trail mix, which is just some pills that she now crushes.
That's a great alternative to Xanax. Like, I'm out of Xanax, but do you want some pills? I don't know what they are, and you don't know what they are. Yeah. So you can either have Xanax, which is going to get you really mellowed out and, you know, could potentially be dangerous enough. Or you could have these pills that we don't know what they are, what they do, and you can just mix them all together.
And what's worse, though, is, like, it's bad enough that she was doing it. Now an unaware party is involved. Right. But, so, that works. But then the girls ask, like, how many times did you do this? And Haley doesn't answer that question, which, like, honestly, like, that's a good question. Because in the course of the show, we've seen it twice, but it's not her first rodeo.
Yeah, she already knew what she was doing.
Yeah. It's not like she started this just to do some super sleuthing on Monkey Man. She's been doing. But then Alicia stands up and she notices a burned teddy bear on the floor. And she's like, where'd you get this? And then Haley says, oh, someone put it in my locker. Which, like, Monkey Man put it in. But, like, whatever. Then Alicia says, oh, wow, like, this is mine. You know, it's kind of messed up. I stole it from this kid in the 2nd grade. And then Rowan is like, whoa, wait. What kid in your class did you take this bear from? And she's like, oh, I can't even remember. And then Rowan's like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. Remember, Monkey Man said the name of the game was finding out who he is. So we need to, like, these are little clues. We thought when he gave us the bear, it was to lead us to you. But maybe it's to lead us to him. So 6 episodes in, they're now like, maybe we want to know who Monkey Man is.
Maybe we should actually start looking for him and using things that he's giving us as clues. I don't know,
maybe.
Just a thought.
Yeah, you know, why not? So then they all agree that they need to go to Nikki's party. And then Rowan is like, well, I don't want to go home yet, so I'm going back to school. I don't know what time it is.
Okay.
I don't know when the Spirit Assembly was. She goes back to school the same day. And Eric is like, hey, you want a donut? And so no one remembers this, but a couple episodes ago, she got a note. Someone was inviting her, was like, meet me at, at Rebels.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, I don't know who it's from, so she didn't go. She assumed Monkey Man. But then Eric was like, oh, no, it's okay. I went with this guy instead. And she's like, oh, man, I missed out. And he's like, well, you can still eat a donut. But, like, seriously, though, Eric, sign it.
Yeah, why are you being so cryptic?
And then, like, he's so sad when she doesn't come, but, like, sign it. Because, like, it's not even like it's a romantic thing. Like, I've loved you for so long. Meet me at Rebels so I can profess my love. Like, your secret admirer. It's, like, nothing. It's just, like, meet me at Rebels. I could very well be for somebody else. That just got her locker by mistake. So, Alicia and Haley, they're meeting at Bree's. And Rowan was like, I'm not going to go because Bree probably hates me for sending her to rehab for no reason. And so while they're there waiting for Bree to do her hacker stuff, they find a family photo, and then Haley's like, yeah, no, that's Rowan's mom. She canoodled the science teacher, and they all fell apart. And I was such a bad friend, because, like, I started hanging out with Nikki at the time, and I sort of bailed when she needed me most. Kind of like you just did last night, when she was like, I don't want to face my dad alone, and, like, you had the drugs, and she's like, nah, I can't be bothered. But whatever. And Bree walks up and she's like, so where's Rowan? And then Haley says, she thought you'd be mad. And then Bree's like, I'm not. I'm more curious to know which of her dumb friends blame me for their own bad habit. And then she, like, looks right at Haley. Like, we're not. Like, we know. And then one thing I thought was funny is, one of the things they asked her to do was find out the quote, these violent delights have violent ends. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it's from Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. You could have Googled that yourselves.
Yeah, that's not a hacker thing.
Like, what? But then, and then Haley, this is what made it crazier to me. Haley's like, Romeo and Juliet, that was our school play. We put it on in the auditorium.
What?
And then Alicia's like, oh, what? Like, maybe he was watching you? Were you in it? And then she's like, yeah, I was Juliet. So that wouldn't even seem vaguely familiar to you. Not even a little bit. Like, I don't know all of Shakespeare, but that sounded like some sort of Shakespeare thing.
That is, like, bonkers.
She was Juliet. So then Bree is like, hey, so, like, it's gonna take me a while to find your second grade school records, but, like, I'll get on it so we can find out who this guy is. But you guys know that he's still releasing new stuff on you guys, right? And then Alicia's like, no. And then Haley's like, yeah, I know. But then Bree pulls it up, and then Alicia sees footage of Jake and Rowan canoodling. And so she just glares at both of them and leaves in a huff.
Because that's what you do.
And then Bree is like, what's her problem? And then Haley doesn't say anything, even though she knows very well what her problem is. She's asked you guys point blank forever. And you guys just ignore her. I'd be done with you guys too. So Rowan finally goes home to face her dad. Any thoughts on how this goes?
Nowhere, probably.
So she says, like, specifically that she's going to face her dad. But she basically ignores every question. He's like, what's going on with you? I'm worried. Could you put your phone down, please? Why did you want to know about missing girls? She's like, come on, Dad. It was just for a class project.
What?
And then this is kind of where it all falls apart, because he just sort of keeps, since she's not answering, he doesn't, like, double down on the question. He just sort of switches issues. Then he's like, I don't want you hanging out with Haley anymore. Those were her pills. And she's like, come on, Dad, you love Haley. And he's like, she's got a problem.
True.
Anyway, the doorbell rings. So then he goes to answer it, and then she follows after him, and he comes back with an envelope. Goodbye. Now Alicia and Ash are back at the railroad tracks, and he's like, so, are you okay after that night? We never got a chance to talk about it. And then she says, don't worry about it. He didn't. And then, so we don't know, but, like, we know. what they're sort of talking about. But then she starts crying and she's like, I got what I deserved. And then Ash is like, no, don't say that. Never say that. And then she keeps crying. And basically it comes down to she won't let him in how he wants to. So then he just gets up and leaves. And the night falls and Alicia watches some trains pass. And that's the end of episode 6.
So really nothing happened.
They have an idea of an almost plan.
They decided that maybe they should start doing something. That's it. That's all. They're like, wait a second. Clues. That's pretty much all they did.
Yep. I mean, it's so interesting how, like, because, like, you know, we have been talking for a while. So, like, I did say things that happened, but so much of the show just amounts to nothing. And I feel like that's kind of bizarrely, like, the magic of it.
Okay.
Because it definitely tries to make these girls seem like they're, like, getting to the bottom of things. These are girls doing it for themselves, but, like, they literally do nothing.
Nothing. I feel like a lot of, I guess, dramas in general, but specifically teen dramas, suffer from this, where they have an issue that they want to explore in a season. But instead of exploring it, each episode just focuses on that issue and they just repeat the same things they've repeated in each episode. They don't add anything new.
Yeah, it is.
They think they're adding things new because they're like, oh, but this time we're going to talk. I don't remember any of the characters' names. This time we're going to show you how she drugged her mom. We're going to show it to the whole school. And it's like, I guess, but like they're not doing anything to stop it. So yeah, of course that's going to happen eventually. And they still aren't doing anything to stop. They're not. Oh my gosh, this show frustrates me so much because you would think that at this point, I mean, really, it shouldn't even have gotten to this point. They would be like, okay, that's it. The kidnapping. You would think that at that point, they would have been like, all right, we need to tell an adult. We need to tell Cop Dad.
Yeah, even, you know, honestly, even if they were still like, we're not going to tell an adult, at least at that point you think they would like kick it into overdrive, like,
right,
we're not messing around. If he's going to play dirty, we're going to play dirty.
If he's not messing around, we're not messing around.
Yeah, but something. But it's like, next episode we're wrapping it up. They're going to solve this mystery, but like, it's been now 6 episodes of these 3 girls just sort of meandering through life while one of them gets it way worse than the other 2.
I feel like they should have made the message, instead of teens are too obsessed with their phones, teen girls apparently, because the boys in this show don't have that message.
Yeah.
Their message, I guess, is like, all teen boys are terrible people. Or not even teen. Yeah. All boys are terrible. They should have made it teens are too self-absorbed. Because these people are too worried about their secrets getting out. And they're, I mean, okay, that sounds bad because I understand blackmail is a big problem. I don't want to discount anybody's experiences in terms of blackmail or extortion. But they're teenagers, so what do you do when you have a problem you can't solve as a child who cannot help themselves? They're not adults yet. You go to an adult.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's really weird too because, like, you know, we're definitely going to talk about this more when we talk about the final episode, but, like, so far, we've seen, you know, I think Bree sort of counts as an adult. The teacher is an adult, and Cop Dad is an adult. And, you know, Jake, you know, despite his involvement, he's also an adult. Yeah. And these people are all, you know, they know something's going on with these girls, some to more extent than the others. And they've all made the one thing that they've all made clear is like, I want to help you. Talk to me, please, so I can help you. And the girls just, no.
No. And then they walk
and
away.
It's like, so at one point it's like, maybe it's a cautionary tale about like, this is what happens when you don't involve adults.
Like, you can't even, I mean, okay, so I guess the whole issue with her not being able to tell Jake is that he doesn't know that she's underage.
Mm-hmm.
But that would, I think, be your safest bet. Because, oh, but I'm in love with him. But, like, you're in love with him so much that you're going to risk him going to jail if you continue to do nothing about Monkey Man. Because things are getting worse and you're not doing anything about it. The best thing you could do is tell him, hey, this guy's been harassing me and I'm sorry I lied to you, but, like, you need to know. Yeah. And you need to know that I'm this age, not the age that I told you, and you need to know that now before something really bad happens. Like, that's the best, I think that would probably be best case scenario for seeking an adult's help that would be, like, the least damage done, I guess, to them.
Yeah, I mean, even, like, I think to a certain extent, like, so most of the stuff they did was, like, in their past, and, like, I mean, there's footage of them committing crimes.
Yeah.
But part of me does wonder, like, so, worst case scenario, it is in New Mexico. So if Rowan and Jake just stopped seeing each other, and she was, like, really, and she just, like, went to her dad and was just up front and was like, look, so, like, I lied to this guy. I told him I was 18. I'm not, and obviously, you know, I'm not. He doesn't know yet. I don't want his life to be over. So I'm just gonna break up with him. But that's the tea. And the dad would probably be real disappointed, but I don't think he would want that guy to go to jail for no reason.
I think, well, I don't know. Because dads are really overprotective of their daughters, generally speaking. So I think but I think if she included, I'm telling you this because there's a much bigger threat afoot than this guy taking, quote unquote, taking advantage of me. And that's this creep that's been harassing us online. Like, if she included that, I think that would be better than her just telling him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I would hope that he would, like, at least listen to her, like, because there is something to be said, like, depending on how you handle certain situations, these girls are not coming to anybody, so I would hope that you would be aware of that, and, like, I hope I'm gonna do what I can to handle this in the best way so that they keep coming to me.
Right.
Alicia, if her secret gets out, she gets help that she really, really needs. She needs to come to terms with having with her parents. She needs to find healthy outlets for her feelings.
Yes.
Her secret needs to get out. It's dangerous that it hasn't. Haley, same. She needs help. And she needs it to go to the authorities. So, like, Monkey Man, you picked the wrong girls. You're hurting more.
Maybe he's just trying to get them help. Because honestly, they're all doing something illegal, potentially harmful to them. So maybe he's actually the good guy. Ooh, that's going to be, like, my new headcanon. That's going to be my fan theory about this show.
Yeah, I think I do like the headcanon that he's just trying to get them help.
He's actually the good guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Monkey Man was the hero we deserved.
Well, he did kidnap somebody and torture them.
He's
definitely
bad.
an anti-hero.
Yeah, he means well, but his methods are super unethical. Oof. Wow. That's good. We're all geared up and we're ready for the big finale.
Yeah, I hope everybody else is ready.
I might not be. But anyway.
I think I remember the finale. Like, the finale was easily the best part of what I saw. Just because the most happens in it.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. I feel like they really packed it all in there. They saved all of the anything, really, for the final episodes.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you for being here, and thank you guys for listening. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe, because we all need friends.
Bye.